Hey, it's Clayton Olson, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the questions that you must ask yourself if you are determining whether or not you are going to leave your relationship or get a divorce. This is a very significant point in your life if you're watching this video and can identify with this circumstance. You might find yourself at a crossroads right now, a very painful one, because you've invested all this time, energy, and love into someone, into this relationship, and now you're faced with the decision about whether to throw in the towel and walk away, or do you stay in something that does not feel like it's working anymore? Now, our brains in this pain often see the situation in a very black and white way. On one hand, we end up not being able to be with the challenge inside of us, the emotions that we're feeling that are often maybe helplessness, confusion, powerlessness, and maybe we feel trapped. And we think, okay, well, if I get out of the relationship, I'll feel free and then I'll have myself back. And sometimes people need to do that in order to reclaim themselves. But oftentimes, if you don't neutralize the storm within you and turn towards what's happening within you and you leave prematurely. I see this happen with the clients that I work with where they get out of a relationship and they sober up and they see themselves in the relationship more clearly and they start to see all the ways in which they were giving their power away, not spreading their wings, not being honest, not having the necessary conversations to really be an agent in changing the relationship. And then they try to get that person back. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The other option is that people stay in the relationship, but from a resigned and cynical place where you are tolerating what is occurring. And more of your own life force and authenticity and genuine aliveness just leave your body. And eventually over time, you'll find that your partner might end up breaking up with you, or you'll become so bitter that you'll break up with them thinking, God, I should have done that years ago. So the point of this video is to open up a third path, a way of using this circumstance that you're in right now to reconnect you with your power and the parts of you that maybe you feel you've lost in the relationship, so that you can arrive in this crossroads from a place of sobriety and really see, is this relationship compatible with where I'm going and who I am? Does it have the ability to support me? Do I have the ability to support them? Or is it time to go? Is it actually time to walk away and end this from a place of neutrality and also not have a regret? As I ask these questions, I want you to journal on them, pause the video, maybe take this with you for a walk and really feel into them because they are significant. And my invitation in this is what might feel like a crisis is actually an opportunity for you to do the deeper work on yourself that this relationship is confronting you with. And you might not know what that is yet, but by the end of this video, you might see it more clearly. And if you do, I'd love for you to comment below if you feel called to share. So the first question you must ask yourself if you're in this situation is, have I done everything in my power to grow through this situation? Have I unturned every stone that I can to juice this experience into me becoming my best self? That's the first question. There's a number of them that actually fall underneath that umbrella, but just notice what your answer is there. Do you feel like you've actually stepped in fully and given this your all yet? Or do you feel like you might be under some type of expectations where the relationship, you've been kind of in the back seat and all of a sudden it's taken a turn, but you really haven't had the courage to really drive this in a way that you're proud of? Because if you haven't, my invitation would be to step into the driver's seat, not from a place of fear and control, but from a place of empowerment. Now, I do have a video that I'm going to direct you to that I think would be helpful in this if you are going to have some conversations with your partner. I'll link that in the description below. It's called Crack Open Their Heart. So check that out. Now, a couple questions underneath the umbrella of, am I giving my all in this circumstance right now, is, are you being honest? Are you being honest with yourself about how you're actually feeling? Or are you numbing yourself to that, bypassing that? Right? Are you being honest with yourself about whether or not the two of you are actually compatible? Are there things that you've been overlooking and not being honest with yourself about? The other hand, look at, where are you not being honest with your partner? Where have you been suppressing your emotions and not revealing how you feel? Not been drawing boundaries? Not been making requests? Because when we're not honest, we're not bringing all of us to the relationship. Your truth and how you're feeling and what you want and what you need in order to make the relationship great for you is a contribution to both of you. But what this often gets blocked by is this belief in this way of relating to our partner as if they're fragile. So we think, okay, well, I can't be honest I can't be real with them. I can't reveal my feelings because there's a way in which those are a burden. We feel that to be honest is somehow a take from our partner, that we're taking something from them by bringing our full heart, desire, and needs to the table. When we're doing that, we are creating them as fragile. We are relating to a story of them being fragile in our mind. And this is where I do want you to check out the video that I mentioned earlier about crack open his heart, because you might have some experiences right now where, hey, look, I've talked to them. I try to talk to them about things and they won't listen. Because you're watching this video, my invitation would be to notice, is there a way in which you're not actually empowered asking for what you want? Is there a way in which you're not connected to yourself? Are you apologizing inside of your asking for what you want because you are not owning what you need and what you want from an aligned, open, loving place, but rather you're seeing that you are kind of robbing them of something by showing up fully? Because those beliefs right there will halt your communication, and they become a self-fulfilling prophecy when we're interacting with people. The next question that I want you to ask yourself is, how are you waiting for them to change? Where are you waiting for them to heal? Where are you waiting for them to come around? How are you waiting for them to be on this same path as you? On the surface, it makes a lot of logical sense. We hear these terms where it takes two to tango. Yes, but in this case, this is where it gets a little muddy. I'm of the belief that when one person shifts how they are genuinely showing up and truly transforms in the relationship, the way they see the other person, the way they speak to the other person, the way they listen to the other person, the geometry of the relationship has no choice but to begin to change and shift. It does take persistence and it takes courage and consistency. I have seen this happen again and again with the clients that I work with in my coaching practice. The reason I'm inviting you into this frame, taking full responsibility for your relationship, 100% responsibility for your relationship, is because it returns you to a place of power where you begin to spread your wings and actually step into your fullest self-expression and not feel hostage by their participation. Where am I not stepping into my fullest self-expression? Where am I not being fully me in the relationship? Where have I let go of hobbies, friends, activities, things that have made me happy in the past because I feel like there's no room for them in the relationship? If that's you, it's time to reconnect with those things. It's time to step up and to fully come alive in your relationship and let your relationship either reorganize with you and have it support you through whatever kind of conversations, arguments, and possible disruption that might cause, or let it fall away. Either way, you will have clarity that it was not then compatible with you as you move into your authentic self. Another question that I encourage you to ponder is this: what would it look like for you to choose this experience fully and completely, rather than feel burdened by it? When relationships take a turn and we find ourselves grappling with difficult emotions, not feeling seen, feeling disconnected, feeling alone, maybe feeling misunderstood, feeling judged, it brings up an emotional experience that oftentimes we just want to push away from. What if we were to choose that, right? What if you were to actually say, no, this is part of the curriculum of relationship that I'm in. All relationships have seasons. Even the ones with the right people cannot have a relationship that is just a constant summer. There is going to be fall and winter. There's going to be a rainy season if you're in the tropics, where the dynamics of the relationship shift, and there will be times where you have to be with difficult emotions that your partner is bringing up within you. And rather than feeling victimized by that and letting the ideal of what you think a relationship should be like reign king over your experience and have you feel like something's wrong, what if you were just to lean in and say, you know what, I'm going to choose this. I'm going to choose the feelings that I'm having right now of anxiety. I'm going to choose feeling misunderstood right now. I'm going to choose feeling that this is a almost impossible situation. I don't know what to do and it's so unclear and I'm confused. That's not saying stay in that forever, right? But what it is saying is turn towards those experiences that you're having and see that there's something in there for you. And that the more that you can increase your capacity to be with these emotional experiences, the more free you will become in your relationship, the more free you're going to become in life. Because if we're constantly running from circumstances that bring up painful emotions within us, we're in prison. And we're going to be constantly shifting the outside world so that we can feel comfortable, and we're not going to be able to remain true to our commitments that we have to ourselves and to other people. So if you have not committed to choosing this experience, that's an invitation. Choose it and begin to see what happens. Try it on for the next month. Choosing this, pretending, creating a world in your mind where actually maybe you got into this relationship to face these things within yourself. And there's something of a gem in there for you. The next question I want you to ask yourself is this: where am I being asked to love? And where am I holding back my love right now while I'm in this crucible, this crossroads, or I'm not sure what to do? You know, if we get into a relationship and we think that love is a feeling, and that if I'm not feeling love right now, that means that the relationship is wrong, or that person's wrong, and that we should not be in it, then we're going to be changing relationship constantly. We're going to just be lasting for the honeymoon phase, and then we will be victim to our own emotional cocktail of experience where we either feel love or we don't feel love. But in this model, we're looking at love as a commitment, love as an action. And so love is a choice. And so where can you love your partner right now in places where maybe they're not loving themselves? Where is it that there is something being revealed in you that actually needs your acceptance in your love that is being reflected to you by your partner? When we look at it this way, we realize that maybe this is a journey of the heart. It's a curriculum for us to continue to open our heart and to love. That doesn't mean that we're accommodating bad behavior or that we're accommodating something where somebody else doesn't want to be in it anymore, right? But what we're doing is we're unearthing this stone to look at the places where we're holding back right now and where we have a closed heart. Because it is possible for you to still break up with somebody from an open heart. That's completely possible, to break up out of love, to realize that things are not aligned anymore and that you're not going the same direction, rather than feeling like you have to close your heart and turn the person into an enemy and hate them in order to walk away. That often does lead to regret later. And so can you be in this with the attention on what is being asked to love right now? Where can I continue to open my heart and love the things that have been really difficult to love? And finally, I want to leave you with this. Many of the people that I see in these types of situations also end up going through a grieving process. Not a grieving process because they're losing their partner, but because they are losing and having to let go of a fantasy or an ideal that they have been unconsciously expecting in their relationship. They have been waiting for their partner to love them in a way that maybe their parents growing up couldn't. They are waiting for their partner to complete them in some way that goes so deep into the psychology that a mere mortal actually can't. And so coming into contact with that, having to confront that another person in relationship may not be able to fully get us, fully see us, fully love us in the way that our soul yearns for, begins to put the responsibility back in our lap. And we start to realize that a relationship is not going to solve what is ours to solve. It is not going to do the work for us. The other person is not going to be able to fill that hole. And so what this does through the grieving is it unlocks a power in a person to begin to do the deeper work, to fill that hole, to find that wholeness and completeness within themselves. So rather than coming to the relationship as half of themselves looking for completion, they can start to step into the relationship from being whole and complete, in loving and being generous, and no longer being transactional, and not having unreasonable expectations on their partner to fill a void inside of them that is their work to do. And so the grieving does not mean anything's wrong. The grieving means that you're actually growing up and you are stepping into a real relationship with yourself and a real relationship with the person in front of you. As you work your way through these questions in this video, take note of them, examine everything that's happening within you, because even though this feels like a crisis, my invitation is that this is a real big opportunity for you to do the deeper work. Whether you stay in the relationship or whether you decide to leave, there is something here for you. And if you'd like help in this process, I've walked next to many individuals over the last 11 years of coaching, helping them alchemize this experience to do the deeper work so they can really up-level the way that they love and the way that they show up in a relationship. If you'd like to have a conversation, there's a link below the video in the description. And if you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on relationships and transformation.